For decades, we've lived under the umbrella of the Department of Defense. It sounds passive, doesn't it? It sounds like a shield. But in early 2026, something shifted, publicly. The President and his Defense Secretary have said it on camera more than once. They're calling it the Department of War. And this department just issued a mandate that should make every single one of us stop and think. They've given the tech industry a 90-day deadline to deliver something called a validated swarm package. They call it Project Swarm Forge. And if you think this is just about bigger drones or better cameras, you're missing the hidden architecture. This is about the total high-speed automation of the kill chain. To understand how we got here, you have to look at the man currently providing the brains for this operation, Jensen Huang. The CEO of NVIDIA is no longer just a tech mogul. He is the technology AI arms dealer of the 21st century. His Blackwell chips, the same ones being shipped by the hundreds of thousands to the UAE, are the literal neurons of this new war machine. When Jensen stands on a stage in his leather jacket talking about industrial revolutions, he's not just talking about chatbots. He's talking about the massive compute power required to coordinate 10,000 autonomous drones simultaneously. But here is the audit trail that most people are missing. Why are so many of these chips ending up in Abu Dhabi? Because the UAE is the ultimate testing ground for Swarm Forge. It's a place where the ethical red tape of Washington, D.C. doesn't exist. In the dunes of the Middle East, the partnership between U.S. tech giants and foreign sovereigns has created a desert sandbox where the human in the loop is considered a liability, not a safeguard. They are training these swarms to find, fix, and finish targets without a single person ever seeing the screen. Usually, when a drone operates, there is a human somewhere making a moral decision. But Swarm Forge is designed for what the military calls denied environments. That's a polite way of saying places where we can't talk to our robots. If the robot can't talk to a human, the robot has to decide who lives and who dies. This brings us to a reality that most people in Silicon Valley want to ignore. We've already seen what happens when we let an algorithm be the final decider. We saw it in Iran. 37 little girls were murdered because an automated system flagged a statistical anomaly in a crowded market. There was no human commander there to see the pink backpacks or hear the children's laughter. There was only a sensor, a probability score, and a kill chain that moved too fast for mercy. The machine didn't hate them. It simply didn't see them as human. It saw them as data points that met the criteria for elimination. We have to ask ourselves, if we are building a machine that moves 1,000 times faster than human morality, are we actually in control? Or are we just spectators to our own destruction? Let me know in the comments if you think a 90-day mandate is enough time to teach a machine the value of a human life. The Pentagon calls this meaningful human command, but that's a marketing term. How meaningful is your command if the AI swarm has already identified, targeted, and neutralized a threat before you can even blink? It's like trying to command a lightning bolt after it's already left the sky. By the time a human officer realizes what's happening, the mission is over, the targets are gone, and the moral weight is conveniently buried in the code. This isn't a future problem. It's a current quarter problem. The Department of War isn't waiting for a decade of research. They are holding crucible events this month. These are real-time competitions where tech companies bring their autonomous swarms to the desert to see whose kill logic is the most efficient. They aren't looking for drones that follow orders. They are looking for a collective, artificial mind that can move through a city and clear an area without needing a signal back to headquarters. The UAE is currently co-financing the dedicated nuclear power infrastructure to run these data centers. Think about what that means for control. If a foreign sovereign owns the power, a private tech company owns the chips, and the Department of War owns the mandate, where do you fit in? Where does the law fit in? We are witnessing the technological privatization of the ultimate power, the power to take a life. National security isn't national anymore. It's been handed to a privatized, autonomous system that views human judgment as a latency issue. When you hear a tech CEO talk about reducing latency, what they are really saying is they want to remove the time it takes for a human to say no. This is why the tragedy in Iran matters. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a preview. It was what happens when the kill chain is shortened so much that empathy is filtered out as noise. When we let an algorithm decide who is a combatant and who is a child, we haven't created a better weapon. We've created something that doesn't know how to stop. The Department of War is moving at the speed of a startup because they are terrified of being second. They say if we don't build the autonomous swarm, someone else will. It's the same old arms race. But this time, the finish line is a world where humans are no longer required for the race to continue. The report on Project Swarm is far from over.